Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Jerika Duncan. President Trump is coming back to the White House this afternoon after a pair of events celebrating the U.S. space program. Just a short time ago, the president spoke with the current crew of the International Space Station. He became the third sitting president to visit Mission Control and the first to talk with the crew.
It's an honor. This was a big day, and it's a big day actually for our country. And you have some tremendous plans. We have some tremendous plans ahead, and it's going to be something very special. I'm very proud of Space Force because I did that. It was during my term, and a lot of people didn't believe in it. A lot of people in the next administration wanted to end it, and frankly, the military put their foot down. The military absolutely put their foot down. They wouldn't let that happen. There was almost a...
Prior to the call, the president awarded Space Medals of Honor to the crew of the Artemis II mission. CBS News senior White House and political correspondent Ed O'Keefe is there with all the action. Ed, what else did the president have to say to the crew of the space station?
Well, he mostly was thanking them for their service and was talking about the fact that he has signed an executive order today establishing what they're calling the Space Force Academy, which would put it on par with the with West Point, with the Naval Academy, with the Air Force Academy, the Coast Guard Academy, now putting together plans to launch Space Force Academy. Remember, Space Force is part of the military, is separate from NASA, which is a science and exploration agency, civilian agency, not at all militarized in any way. But this president likes to blend the two together whenever he seems to be discussing either of them. This trip here to Johnson Space Center, as you said, rare for a commander-in-chief, just the third time a president had visited Mission Control, first to speak directly with astronauts aboard the space station, which he did. Two of their spouses actually were in Mission Control alongside the president. They got to say hello to their significant others in space. And the other thing he did, of course, was award those Congressional Space Medal of Honors. Only 34 now have ever been given out over the last 50 years to astronauts who have been considered to have served exceptionally. And obviously the crew of Artemis II, having just completed their mission in the spring, now rank among them. Big deal to have any president visit any federal agency, but most especially NASA. They don't get it that often. And it comes, of course, as they're preparing for Artemis 3 and 4, which are designed to continue testing the Americans' ability to get to the moon and land on the moon once again, Jerika.
And if you could, the reaction from those astronauts, as you mentioned, only 34 receiving that Congressional Space Medal of Honor, and just what that does in terms of elevating what it is that we do as Americans for this country, for the world, when we go up into space and learn new things and figure out what's really going on up there.
Yeah, well, the visit certainly reinforces the importance of the agency, at least to this president, and the fact that he committed to continuing funding the programs that they're working on, obviously, is a big deal. We're here in Building 9, which is the one they use to test different lunar landing vehicles, other tools that astronauts might one day use on the moon. And so the president got to tour one of them, the simulator of the space station that sits back over there. There's some other pieces of private space equipment they're working on that they don't want us to see, but they keep in this room as well. So they're actually setting up a really cool, you can't see it here, but there's this massive crane to set up. Well, there you go. Thank you, Dwayne. Asking you shall receive.
That's
that
right. Thing
there is basically going to be rigged so that some new technology can be used to help astronauts train for gravity on the moon. Okay. Which is a little more intense than gravity here on Earth. So they're setting that up back there. So that's where he was today.
Yeah.
Got to see all the bells and whistles, and now headed back to Washington. We should point out, Jerika, this was the official part of a two-part visit. The political part was last night. He was raising millions of dollars on behalf of the Republican National Committee, most especially for State Attorney General Ken Paxton of Texas, who's running in a U.S. Senate race that's a little tighter than Republicans would like right now. He's facing Democrat James Tallarico, who currently has the edge in polling and certainly in fundraising. There's been a big dispute in the party about who needs to be helping Paxton pay for his campaign. The president, who endorsed him during the primary, showed up to do that. Houston is also going to be the home of the 2028 Republican convention. So this is sort of an early test of its ability to have the president come in for a day or two and then head back. But by doing those political and official events, and President Biden did this, President Bush, President Obama, they all do it, you basically can split the cost of the flight of Air Force One between the White House and taxpayers and your political party. And so that's part of why this trip was arranged for today.
Yeah,
Tarika.
cost effective, and I know how much excitement there was when Artemis II safely landed. So nice to see those astronauts again. Ed O'Keefe, thank you so much.